are some VR games that just outright copy PC games. So today I'm going to be playing these VR clone games and ranking them based on how good they are. Let's start with the Goliath of a game, Fortnite. Although there are countless VR battle royales, they're not really copying Fortnite. However, this one game in particular stands out as a Fortnite clone, and it's called Population 1. You get thrown into a map, you loot, there's a zone that shrinks, and the last team standing wins. But the main reason this is very similar to Fortnite is because in this game, you can build. Although it's not as common and finding resources is more of a challenge, you're still able to build a wall, a roof, and that's pretty much it. Huh? Well, what makes this game unique is the ability to climb any surface. Oh, and if you happen to jump off, by spreading your arms, you can fly. And the flying mechanic makes it great for movement. Anyways, there is no surprise, everyone is calling this the VR Fortnite. But how good is the game on its own? Surprisingly, it's very fun. Everything works great, the guns are easy to use, the map is cool, and the sweats are not that common. Oh, and just like Fortnite, they're always keeping it fresh with the new updates. This game definitely deserves an A tier. Just like after 7 years, this channel deserves 100,000 subscribers. And in this video, I'm looking for the ultimate VR copy game. The S tier game. One that has similar aspects to a popular PC game, but stands just as well on its own. But this Minecraft clone is not it. Discovery is the same as Minecraft, but like way worse. Besides going to third person, there's nothing cool about this game. And the animals are like, they're creepy, bro.
Who wants to run next?
This is going the F tier, man. With the explosion of Among Us during COVID, you'd think someone would easily copy this simplistic game in VR. But surprisingly, no one has done it yet. And yes, I'm excluding the VR chat. Shame. And Rec Room Worlds because they're not standalone games. So the company behind Among Us, it's like the sloth game, I forgot what they're called, decided to recreate their game in VR. Pretty cool, right? Well, let's just say that everyone was quite disappointed. That's because it feels like they imported only half of the game's mechanics, and they didn't take advantage of VR's capabilities. If you've ever played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It just feels underwhelming. It's not terrible though, don't get me wrong. You can still get some fun gameplay out of this. Anyways, I'm giving the official Among Us VR a B. Roblox is the #1 game in the world for kids. I guess there's Minecraft, but NANI? Some sources say that like Roblox is bigger right now. Yeah, anyways, this massive game must have developers locked in their rooms all day trying to recreate a similar type of game in VR, right? Well, in fact, yes. Out of the sweats of broke VR game developers, Rec Room was born. And yeah, I already know what you guys are saying. It's a little unfair to say that Rec Room is a VR clone of Roblox. But let me ask you this. How would you describe Rec Room? Well, it's Roblox, but in VR. Exactly. The principles are the same. In both games, you can make friends, you can rank up, buy clothing, and play games that were made by the community. And funny enough, even the games itself are similar. Because every time there's a new Roblox game that's trending, you bet someone is recreating that for Rec Room. These games are closer to each other than you think. Heck, even the controversial avatars that Roblox is creating, Rec Room, doing the same with adding legs, is facing the same amount of hate from the community. But how does Rec Room stand on its own? I will say, as similar as Rec Room is to Roblox, it really doesn't feel like it. Rec Room just has a unique feel to it, in a good way though. It's well made, polished, no bugs, tons of options as far as settings, worlds to explore, friends to meet, and things to do. It stands very well on its own. But yeah, there is no reason not to give this game an A. In fact, I was very tempted to give Rec Room the S tier, but I'm saving that for another game that definitely deserves it. Most of you guys play Rec Room directly on the Quest, which feels like playing Fortnite on mobile. Here's what Rec Room looks like when playing on PC using a cable. Yeah, a massive difference. Like honestly guys, why not just go with the cable? This is a 16-foot long cable from Syntec, and in my opinion it's the best solution that I found cable wise, because not only the white matches your Quest, it has a 90-degree plug that fits in quite nicely. It's super long, it feels premium, but what makes this cable unique is the ability to fast charge with this extra USB-C port. Don't be limited by the smaller Quest library and unlock all of the PC games, yes, including the Steam VR games, by just connecting your Quest to a PC using this cable. You guys can buy it by clicking down below in the description, and don't worry because it's super super affordable. It's literally 3 times cheaper than Meta's official link cable. The entire game of Fnaf 5 has been recreated in VR. And no, it's not like they just made a VR port for it. You can tell someone actually recreated everything, like all the assets, the level design, yeah, all of that, and was dumb enough to put it on side quests for free. Just kidding, whoever did this is amazing and they did a fantastic job. There isn't much to say about this game because it's literally a one-to-one copy. Dude, I remember freaking out on a flat screen when it was released like several years ago. So naturally, actually being in the world with, VR really creeped me out. Having said all these good things, the game doesn't really stand on its own because obviously if you think about it, this game depends on sister location's popularity, because obviously without Fnaf 5 this game wouldn't have existed. And the game isn't perfect either, so I'm giving this a B, but just keep in mind it's a very high B, meaning that I would still highly suggest playing this game, especially if you know anything about Fnaf. Rocket League is very popular for combining 2 things that we guys go crazy for: soccer and your mom. Got it! I mean cars, sorry, cars. Well, the clone of Rocket League had a slightly different twist to this combination. And no, I'm not talking about the your mom part. Soccer and a machine. Yeah, like a mech. And so they called it Ultimex. In Ultimex, you control a machine that can blast rockets, and you use the rockets to hit the ball into the goal. Everything is just like Rocket League, except for 2 main elements. First, you're not in a car, but in a robot, which we just established that. And 2, you don't actually move around. This might sound strange, as a big component to Rocket League is meticulously moving your car to hit the ball in a precise way. And you'd think that being in VR, this would be more prevalent since you can move your body in even more precise ways than you can on a computer. But no, they have you static. And the only way to move around is just by teleporting. It's a little underwhelming to say the least. But for what it is, the game is well built and definitely stands on its own. It's not as fun or similar enough to Rocket League, like in the good ways. So yeah, this game is also getting a B tier. The next game that took some inspiration from the biggest video game franchise,
it's me, Mario,
is Lucky's Tale. Right off the bat, I would like to say that the only similarities that Lucky's Tale has to Mario, it's a platformer game. They both have vibrant colors, and that's it. Yeah, so it's a little unfair to say that this game is copying Mario, at least like in the negative sense. However, I'm sure Lucky's Tale wouldn't have been made if it weren't for Mario. I played this game years ago on the Oculus Rift, and it's pretty fun, I gotta say. And just by looking at this footage that you guys see here on screen, you can tell it's well made, polished, it's fun, and there's nothing wrong with it, honestly. The reason I'm not giving this game an S tier is because overall, it's just not as fun as a game like Super Mario Bros. When I was a kid, I grinded that game for days, but Lucky's Tale just didn't have that same impact. Still a solid game and deserves the A tier. Another game that deserves an A tier is this game right here. It's essentially a Spider-Man game in VR, and there are countless Spider-Man VR games. A lot of them are trash, but which one is the ultimate Spider-Man VR game? Well, I made a video where I find the ultimate Spider-Man VR game, and it's actually extremely fun.
Spider-Man Far From Home, woohoo!
I'll link the video at the end of this one so you guys can go watch it. Now we're gonna be looking at a game that is similar to Rainbow Six Siege. A little too similar. Breachers VR is literally a Siege clone, but instead of playing on a flat screen, like Nathy would say,
glorious VR.
So here are the similarities. Both games emphasize strategic and tactical gameplay. In both Breachers VR and Rainbow Six Siege, teamwork is essential for success. They both have objective-based missions, whether it's recruiting hostages, defusing bombs, or securing an area. Cooperation and coordination are key. Players in both games can choose from a variety of specialized roles or operators, each with unique abilities, gadgets, and weapons. And speaking about weapons, both games strive for a degree of realism in weapon handling and mechanics. And finally, in both games you can destroy stuff. You know, whether that might include breaching doors or like manipulating the environment to gain a tactical advantage. Also, the community was great and wasn't toxic. Yeah, there were pros. It was a little tough for a noob like myself.
Double kill. Humiliation.
But my teammates were happy to help me out. Overall, it's a well-made game and it definitely stands on its own. I just can't find anything wrong with it. So for these reasons, it's getting the highest ranking, the S tier. As promised, guys, in this video, I find the ultimate Spider-Man VR game. And there are so many games that try to make you feel like Spider-Man, but which one is the best? Well, you guys can watch this video to find out, especially if Spider-Man is your favorite superhero. But boys, help me reach 100,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Please subscribe.